Hey Jaycee, what are we going to talk about today? Today I'm going to talk about a procedure that I had done on me yesterday, and it's called an angiogram. Well, it's not as happy as it sounds. I actually have had this for around more than 24 hours. It's starting to itch, so I probably need to remove this. But I'm gonna remove this right after I finish this video. I'm hoping that this video is going to be a little bit short, but there are a lot of things that I have written on my notebook. Just so I can give you a background of why I had to have an angiogram done, how the procedure went, and then a little bit of some realizations that I had after, right? So in 2019, when I went to the US for a vacation, I spent most of those 4 months being so bloated. My tummy was super bloated, like to its maximum potential. My legs were bloated. My eggs were bloated. The scrotum was super bloated, right? So I had to wear everything 2XL. Right? So at that time I thought it was just because I gained a lot of weight because I'm usually fat. But I didn't know that I already had edema at that time. So when I got back in early 2020, I think that was January. On January 2020, I went to the hospital to have myself checked, and that's when I found out that it was edema, and we were thinking that there was something wrong with my heart. And after, there's a lot of N. And after, after going through, I think, 3 doctors, right? After going through 3 doctors, the last doctor was a cardio, and she said that we have to check if there's something wrong with my heart. The very first thing that she wanted to do for me was to have an angiogram, because they say that an angiogram is like the gold standard when it comes to checking if there's anything wrong with my heart, especially the arteries. So an angiogram is a confirmatory test where they use DYES, and an X-ray machine to check if the arteries are blocked, enlarged. I don't actually know the exact definition, right? But through X-ray, they try to see if there are blockages in your arteries. Okay, so that's how they define. Well, my definition is later on. Just GMG, Google mo girl. Just Google what angiogram really stands for. But so there. So I was supposed to have it around, I think, March or April of 2020, but then the lockdown started, and I got scared of going to the hospital because I wasn't vaccinated yet. So when I got fully vaccinated around May, that's when I planned on having the angiogram finally done, right? So what do you need to have? What were the steps that I had to do, right? So first, I had to confirm with my cardio if we would continue the angiogram. She said yes, and then she referred me to an interventionalist. I think that's what it is. Interventional cardiologist. I think that's his title, right? And then it was fast. I think we only had 15 minutes to discuss everything that's going to happen, right? right? He explained to me what's going to be done, and what we should expect after, right? And then he said, just make sure that you set up the appointment, get the LOA from your HMO, so that we can have it scheduled. And that's exactly what I did, right? So first, I had to check with IntelliCare if they would cover the angiogram, and luckily they said yes. Right? The package that they approved was 65,000 pesos. So after that, I had to take a CBC and an X-ray, another X-ray, for my doctor to look at before we had the procedure done. I think everything was a-okay. So we set it up. July 5th, 12 noon. So I had to take a leave from work so I could have the procedure done. Okay, so when it was approved by IntelliCare and I had the pre-tests that were required by the doctor, I had to be at the hospital around 3 hours before the procedure, right? So when it comes to hospitals, I always go early, right? So I think I was lucky that I was there early because at 10:30 a.m. I was already prepped, right? So I had a dextrose again, so I still have the puncture from there. And then they were also monitoring my blood pressure and I don't know what you call that clipper that you put on your finger. Okay. So I waited for around 2 hours because there were 2 other people who went before me who had earlier schedules. So I waited for an extra 30 minutes from the 12 o'clock schedule. And then when they wheeled me into the cath lab, they attached an ECG monitor. So aside from the dextrose, I had an ECG monitor everywhere. I also had a BP monitor attached to my left leg. I tell you, I really don't like those automatic BPs. They really squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, hugs you like a gold digger. And then after that, they strapped my right hand. I don't know what you call that, but it's on the bed. It's attached to the bed. My hands were strapped like this, right? So only my thumb was free. And then after that, the doctor said, all right, so you're all prepped, ready to go, let's go to the beach, let's go get away. And then they put localized anesthesia. I don't know. As in Pinoy, you just say anesthesia. So they put localized anesthesia on me. I'm telling you, it's not like an ant bite, right? Hurts, super hurts, right? But I think only after 10 seconds, he was trying to play with me. So only after 10 seconds, it felt numb, right? Like how I feel when I break up with my exes. And then later on, that's when they inserted the tube right here. So they punctured somewhere under my wrist, my skin. I think they looked for a vein that was, how do you call it? Directly. Fibo, stop moving. Well, that goes directly to my heart, I think. And then they inserted a tube, right? And I'm telling you, it felt like there was a Snorlax that was sitting on my arm because I don't know, that's how it felt for me. And I tried to stop myself from laughing because that's what I was imagining because it's super hurtful, right? So once they had the tube inserted, the doctor then said that he was going to inject the dye, right? So I felt a warm flush going from my arm up to here, or from my wrist up to here. And then a couple minutes later, the doctor said, all right, so we can start with the x-ray machine. And then that's what they did. Like, they looked, well, the machine is a flat surface, has a flat surface. And it moved around at different angles, right? It's like it was wall-E in your face. And moving around like that. And I think after just around 5 minutes, we were done. The doctor pulled the monitor close towards me and said that, well, yeah, it's normal. You're lucky it's normal. Right? And I was really thankful when he said it was normal because I was overhearing some of the other patients that they were talking to while I was waiting for my turn. And they were saying, we found blockages based on the result, and they had to prepare around 350,000 to around 500,000 for the next procedure. I think it's an angioplasty. So I was happy that it was normal, right? And I'm lucky that it was normal because I didn't have to do anything. I just have to go back to my original cardio so that we can talk about adjustments and medicine and to see what else we can have done so that we'll find out what's wrong with me. I mean, there are so many wrong things about me, right? But my heart, I'm lucky it's normal. Alright, so that was really quick, right? I think the waiting was longer than the actual procedure. And then I had to wait for like 2 hours for me to recover, right? I wasn't given a sedative because I told the doctor that I was going to drive myself home. But that's another story. So after I was released, right, I was lucky I didn't pay a single centavo. Thank you to my HMO and also to PhilHealth for covering 100% of my bill, right? So the 15 billion that was lost did not affect did not affect my bill. So I'm lucky. So I was told that I have to have this for 24 hours. It's been more than 24 hours and it's starting to become itchy, so I'm gonna have to remove it later. The nurse said that I can't drive, right, for a couple of days. No lifting, even the doggos, I can't lift them with my right arm. No laundry, just probably dishwashing, right? So no heavy lifting or anything that brings you pleasure for a week. You know what I mean. Alright, so there, feeling better, but I just want to rest. That's how I feel. I want to take my mind off things, and I want to make sure that I meet up with my original cardio right away so that we can start planning for what's next. Super thank you to my mom who kept on checking up on me, my cousins, my friends, the Transcendentals, and also my siblings for sending me messages to check how I am. Super special mention to my Uncle Rodel, who they actually offered a prayer during Mass in LA before I had my procedure done. So super thankful. And since I can't drive, I was also lucky that one of my cousins lived close by. So Cuz VJ, they picked me up from the hospital, and then they brought me home and had dinner afterwards. So I think I'm really lucky that everything was okay. Right? Procedure was really painful, but I think it's really worth it. Some of my takeaways from this experience would be, life is short, right? So take care of yourselves, take care of yourself. Take everything in moderation. Do not abuse your body. Abuse it in a different way. With consent, of course. Healthcare isn't fair. I think that's the biggest takeaway that I have. Because I'm lucky that I had an HMO and Philippine membership. Some other people won't have the same luxury, right? I was even listening to the other patient in the recovery room, and I can really hear the difficulty that they must be feeling because they have to come up with lots and lots of money, just so they can go with the angioplasty. So whether you're working or not, if you can save up for HMO insurance and also PhilHealth, it's going to be really helpful. Aside from that, I think it's also good to make sure that you get life insurance. So if you don't get a positive result or a positive outcome like I did, right, then your family can be secure, right? If your situation worsens, then when you leave behind security. So get life insurance for it. Alright, so there, again, angiogram, 15 minutes, takes 15 minutes, hurts like a motherfucker. I don't want to do it again, so I'm gonna have to change some things that I normally do. Watch what I eat, right? Make sure that I sleep right. Make sure that I go back to exercising. The last doctor that I had last year told me that I couldn't work out. So I'm gonna have to confirm with this new doctor that I have if I can go back to the gym, right? But there. So again, life is short. Healthcare isn't fair. Stay healthy, take care of yourself. So you won't have to go through what I had to, right? Okay. So there, thank you for listening. I know this is already around 18 minutes of me blabbing, but there, I hope you learned something. And again, this is just me sharing with you the life you live and the life you love. Bye.